Oklahoma is on alert for severe weather. We'll tell you where and when. Plus, hear how one organization is encouraging college students to vote and the virus spreading so quickly some hospitals can't keep up. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Roddy.
And I'm Carolynn Felling. It's day 2 of early voting for November 8th election. And tonight, one OU organization is working to encourage more college students to vote. OU Nightly's Addie Crawford spoke to Oklahoma Votes about just how the group is making an impact.
I get you to sign here on line number 24.
Early voting is in full swing. But for Oklahoma Votes,
our mission is to make sure that young people know who they're voting for and voting for their future.
The mission is all year round.
We have bi-monthly meetings where we'll come in worrying about different things about voting. So absentee ballots, we're getting ready to have a Native American ballot meeting coming up. So it's just those kind of fun things that you wouldn't think about and like how to get people to vote.
Making sure students' voices are being heard.
Your voice does matter, especially in like the local level.
Oftentimes setting up a table on campus to spread the word.
Our voter registration drive, I think we registered over 200 people on campus.
The Center for Information and Research on Civic Learning and Engagement says voter turnouts for young adults is getting stronger, but is still lagging.
You know, after COVID and everything, it was really hard to reach out to people, and luckily, you know, during 2020, the voter turnout was great.
According to the National Study of Learning, Voting, and Engagement, data shows more than 60% of OU's campus voted in the 2020 election.
I think it's really important to get young adults to vote because we're often so overlooked because we don't vote that our voice isn't really heard and those issues that we are most passionate about are not being seen.
Urging everyone, no matter how old you are,
make sure you vote.
A member of Oklahoma Votes says one of the main questions students ask when tabling on campus is where to vote and how to register.
And split ticket voting is a hot topic this year as some are voting differently than years past. OU Nightly's Cameron Joyner is live with what recent polls are showing.
Election day is just days away and new voting data is rolling in. And these polls are showing something interesting. It's looking like a lot of people might be splitting their ticket, which means they're not voting for the same party all the way down the ballot. A KOCO Amber integrated poll that was just released shows that Joy Hoffmeister and Kevin Stitt are in a toss-up race for governor. But their polls for other midterm races tell a very different story. And Republicans are squarely in the lead in those races. I spoke with some voters here at the Cleveland County Fairgrounds about what they think.
So I prefer it being more balanced than just red.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's a red and blue race. I mean, in a lot of policies, Hoffmeister's still a Republican.
I think people are fed up. I think people here like public schools and they support the tribes, and I think they want to have a functioning like social safety net, and that's not happening with the current administration.
We've come to a point where we're trying to get out of the idea of just political parties and just start voting for things that actually matter and personally affect us.
Early voting will continue through Saturday, and Election Day is Tuesday, November 8th. Reporting live for OU Nightly, I'm Cameron Joyner.
Thanks, Cameron. You know, I noticed walking to class today, it's been feeling a little bit chilly outside.
Yeah, Bella, OU Nightly meteorologist Coy Taylor is here in the studio to tell us if I need to keep my jacket handy.
Yes, you'll want one, Carolyn. If you're headed out this evening, you can see the trees are blowing a little bit in the wind as we take a live look over the South Oval, so you'll want that jacket handy. It's going to be a little breezy as we head over the next couple of hours, and current temperatures, we're in the 70s, so it's feeling rather comfortable. 77 in Fort Cobb, we're to 74 degrees in Weatherford. Again, 70s continue here over the next couple of hours, and then we'll see 60s as we descend after sunset. Cold front on the way. We're monitoring severe weather chances, and we'll have that game day forecast as we head for this weekend. Ladies?
Thanks, Coy. A vacant Senate seat for Oklahoma is up for grabs this election season. OU Nightly's Amaya Ward spoke with candidate Kendra Horn and is live at the Cleveland County Democratic headquarters.
Yes, Carolyn and Bella, in just under 1 week, Oklahomans will decide who will fill the coveted Senate seat being vacated by Senator Jim Inhofe after almost 30 years. Chickasha born wants to return to Congress, having represented Oklahoma's 5th congressional district for 1 term.
I showed when I was in the House that I will stand up for Oklahomans. I'll stand up to anyone when it's bad for Oklahoma, and I'll work with anyone when it's good for Oklahoma.
Horn, who is a moderate Democrat, says this could be the most important election in our lifetime.
We have so many important issues that are before us, including access to health care, women's health, education, and just making sure that the people that are elected to serve us actually work for us.
The U.S. Senate candidate asserts she is a voice of reason and will be bipartisan if elected.
Oklahomans, I have gotten endorsements and support from Republicans, Democrats, and Independents because I know we have more that unites us than divides us. We're in a dogfight.
After serving as the first Democratic woman to represent Oklahoma, she is a rare candidate in a solid red state.
Oklahomans know that they want somebody that's going to fight for public education and that's going to stand up for what's right, that's going to fight for access to health care, jobs and economic opportunity. We need to invest in our communities and not drive jobs out of the state.
Now, pollsters rate this race as solid for the GOP, but Horn said they also counted her out in 2018, the year she upset Republican Representative Steve Russell. Reporting from Cleveland County Democratic Headquarters, Amaya Ward.
Thanks, Amaya. And facing Horn is Republican Congressman Markwayne Mullin. OU Nightly's Olivia Dague is in the newsroom to give us the details.
That's right, Bella. Mullin is throwing his hat into the ring to fill the empty seat. Here's where he stands on key issues. A business owner and former MMA fighter, Mullin says he's aiming to keep conservative values in Oklahoma. He says he is 100% pro-life and pro-Second Amendment. He's endorsed by former President Donald Trump and defended him during the January 6th insurrection. As far as immigration, he wants to support Trump's border wall. Mullin also says he supports education choice in Oklahoma. In Congress, he voted to repeal Obamacare many times. To fix the economy, he wants to fight inflation with a focus on energy independence. I'm scheduled to speak to Mullin tomorrow night and will bring you more coverage on Monday. Bella, Carolyn.
Thanks, Olivia. Voters across the country are hearing final pitches from popular politicians. Mecca Thompson has that and the rest of today's headlines from News Center.
That's right, Carolyn. With 5 days left until the midterm election, big names from both parties are on the campaign trail. Former President Barack Obama spoke in Arizona on Tuesday, and former President Donald Trump campaigns in Iowa tonight. The final push for support from voters is underway, and reports say both parties are expecting a competitive race. Gabby Petito's parents filed a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against the Moab City Police Department today with concerns that change has not occurred.
Some things need to change, and I guess there's been some things in the past that I've read and changes haven't happened, and those changes need to come.
They allege that the officers were negligent in their interactions with Gabby and her fiancé Brian Laundrie before her death. U.S. Embassy officials met with Brittany Griner today, and White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said Griner is doing well as can be expected the circumstances. Pierre also stated that it remains a top priority for the Biden administration to secure her release. Bella and Carolyn, there's a rare first edition of the U.S. Constitution going up for auction next month in New York, worth nearly $30 million.
Thanks, Mecca. That's definitely an expensive piece of history there, but luckily getting your COVID booster and flu shots are free.
That's true. Find out how vaccine companies are working to prevent both COVID and the flu coming up.
Plus, a common respiratory illness is rising among children. Stick around to learn more about how to keep you and your family safe.
It's about that time to get your booster and flu shot. But there may be a quicker way very soon. Liv Walbeck has that in the latest in Health Beat.
That's right. Soon you may be able to get your flu shot and COVID booster all in one. Pfizer launched phase 1 of a combination COVID and flu vaccine that includes updated bivalent COVID ingredients to fight off both viruses. Moderna and Novavax are now following suit with their own vaccines, all of which are in early clinical trials. And data from the CDC says RSV cases are still exceedingly high and hospitalizations among children are rising. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, more than 3/4 of pediatric hospital beds are full nationwide. The CDC says hand washing and cleaning frequently touched surfaces can help prevent the spread. The FDA says amoxicillin is in short supply, causing many pharmacies to struggle in filling prescriptions. The American Society of Health System Pharmacists says that there may be a different concentration or a dosage form available to treat bacterial infections. Pharmacists also say that different antibiotics can also be used. With flu season picking up rapidly, information on how to stay safe and healthy can be found on the CDC's website.
Thanks, Liv. Like you said, it's a good idea to wash your hands, but it's especially a good idea to wash before handling food. Find out where in Norman is giving back to the community by filling people's hearts and stomachs.
And I heard allergies are back on the rise, but we're watching for a cold front.
Coy, what's the allergy report looking like, and when can we expect those cooler temperatures?
Yes, here's a look at the allergy report. The molds come up some. We have fallen leaves decaying and elaborating those mold spores all around. We'll be tracking a cold front. Colder weather expected for tomorrow night. Weather is next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Let's get straight into the forecast. We have a lot to talk about as we head into this weekend. Cold front on the way, going to bring us some severe weather chances, but a live look outside over the South Oval right now. The mums, the checker pattern in full bloom as we go. We'll marvel in all the beauty for a couple of seconds, but we'll get to that forecast. 72 degrees right now at Max Westheimer Airport here in Norman. Cloudy skies, southeasterly winds at 14 miles per hour. That's bringing in some rather muggy air. 63 degrees. It feels like storm day out there, and we're going to see that as we head into tomorrow for some parts of Oklahoma. So 70s metro-wide right now, 72 Oklahoma City. We're to 77 degrees in Fort Cobb, 74 for our folks in Weatherford. And as we take a more statewide view of the map, 76 down towards Ardmore, Hello, Lawton, 79, almost 80 degrees in the far southwest. And that's going to be fueling our severe weather chances as we head into Thursday and Friday. So this is for tonight into the overnight hours. We have a slight risk. That's a level 2 on our scale, mainly for hail and damaging winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. Ping pong ball size hail possible, and that's in the far northwest. We'll time that out with future scan here in a second. But then tomorrow, that threat shifts a little further east as we go from Norman to Oklahoma City. That slight risk, level 2 risk. Then as we head into far southeastern Oklahoma, we're talking Choctaw, Push-Mataha, McCurtain counties down in the far southwest under a enhanced risk. That's a level 3 out of 5 on our severe weather scale. So let's time this out with future scan. We pick it up at 5 p.m. this evening. We're dry, but we have some clouds. Then as we head after midnight, around 2 a.m., those showers and storms, very isolated in coverage. Not everyone's going to see rain in the far northwest in that yellow shaded region, but maybe 1 or 2 storms go up, and those could be on the strong to severe side. Then we head into 7 a.m. The cold front scoots further south. That's what's going to be driving these storms as we head into tomorrow. But you can see the cold front knocking on the door in northwestern Oklahoma. That's going to make a run at the metro as we head into tomorrow afternoon. You're going to really notice the temps really start to what would be drop off. But this is 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. We're going to be mainly watching that area shaded in yellow down here in south, what would be eastern Oklahoma. You can see they really fires up as we head into tomorrow afternoon. And yes, this is snow up at the Panhandle, maybe some wet snowflakes from Guyman up towards the Woodward area as we head Friday evening into Saturday. Then that pushes out as we head into Saturday morning. Here's your future rainfall totals. How much are we talking in eastern Oklahoma where those storms really set up? Upwards of 3 inches in local spots. Not much here in central Oklahoma, maybe 0.2 of an inch if we're lucky. Lows for tonight, that cold front going to keep it colder in the northwest, but that cold front knocks on our door by tomorrow afternoon, and we're going to see those temperatures fall from about 69 to around 53 degrees as we head into tomorrow. Would be afternoon, so you're going to want that jacket as we head into Friday. 69 for your what would be Friday, 63 Saturday as we come for game day. Ladies?
Thanks, Coy. Thanksgiving is coming up and the weather is getting colder. Several Norman organizations need help this time of year. OU Nightly's Jimmy Wicks talked to Norman Food and Shelter about how you can help.
In uncertain times, those in need look for a helping hand. And in Norman, that helping hand is Norman Food and Shelter.
Norman Food and Shelter provides homes and food for those in need. And with the holidays coming around, they need all the help they can get.
It helps, it's a huge help. We live and die by volunteers because we try not to spend all of the money that we have on payroll. So it necessarily is quite a lot, but I have one other person that's actually paid in the kitchen besides me. The rest is volunteers.
Food is not the only thing in need. With winter months ahead, freezing temperatures and outdoor elements are at their harshest.
But during the winter season, we will take jackets, gloves, scarves, hats, all those kinds of things for the winter.
For more information on Norman Food and Shelter, find them on their website or Facebook page at Food and Shelter Inc.
And the Baylor Bears are on their way to Norman for this weekend's game.
And I hear that a former Sooner is going to be honored. Milena Semere is going to tell us all about it coming up in sports.
That's right, guys. A member of Sooner royalty will be making their way back to home plate, this time in OKC. And OU is going on a bear hunt this Saturday. Sports is next. I'm Milena Semere, and it's time for sports. The hunt is on, and the Sooners have two targets, the Baylor Bears and to become bowl eligible. This will be the first time since 2005 that Oklahoma is not ranked when facing Baylor. Marvin Mims dropped a couple passes last week against Iowa State, but QB Dylan Gabriel hopes to maul the Bears this Saturday with the help of Mims.
I think in life, not everyone's going to be perfect, and Marv's been really damn good for a bunch of time, but he had a bad day and had some catches he wanted back, but for the most part, he's my guy and he's our guy, so just continue to feed him and continue to instill confidence that he already has.
A former Sooner and Hall of Fame inductee will be honored with an on-campus salute Saturday. Roy Williams was a safety for Oklahoma for 3 seasons beginning in 1999. Williams was a first-team All-American in 2001 and started 31 games for the Sooners. The salute will take place during the OU-Baylor game between the first and second quarters. And the postseason looks bright for OU soccer, and the ladies are looking to advance to the Big 12 Championship Finals. The Sooners will take on TCU in the semifinals tonight at 7 in Texas. And the Queen is coming home, and if you missed her, you may not have to drive far to see her in action. Former Sooner softball star Jason Allo officially signed with the Spark, OKC's future softball team. The rain will hit off in the 405 when the Spark begins play in 2023. While the World Series is ramping up in the MLB, the Sooners will have their own version of the iconic championship here in Norman. The baseball team is wrapping up their Fall Crimson and Cream World Series right now with a tiebreaker between the two sides at El Del Mitchell Park. And it was a record-breaking Wednesday night as the Houston Astros, led by Christian Javier, threw the first combined no-hitter in World Series history, in a much-needed rebound from Game 3. Javier fired off 6 no-hit innings to quiet the Philly crowd and give the Astros the win 5-0. Game 4 is tonight at 7 back in Philadelphia with the series tied 2-2. It's an exciting weekend coming up, and speaking of football, Bella, Carolyn, I hear you guys have a touching story to share.
That's right, Milena. Find out how one third grader in Kansas City's football dreams have come true.
Coming up next on OU Nightly.
I'm Morgan Martin at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Cherokee Nation is asking that the U.S. Congress honor an almost 200-year-old promise. The demand to uphold a treaty and seat for a non-voting delegate come as clashes grow over sovereignty ahead of the tight race for governor. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Morgan. In Kansas City, Missouri, a new after-school program is offering a safe space for students with special needs.
All-inclusive flag football is popular among the students at this elementary school, especially for third grader Jackson, whose mom said she never thought she'd see her son play his favorite sport.
And speaking of football, Coy Taylor is here to give us one last look at the forecast and what we can expect for the OU Baylor game.
Yes, Bella, if you're headed out to Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium this weekend, we are expecting temperatures in the 60s, so a quick warm-up after that cold front moves in tomorrow. Sunshine expected for the game, so maybe layer up to SPF. We're going to be losing an hour of sleep, or no, losing our daylight, I should say, gaining an hour of sleep as we head into this weekend, 5:29 p.m. or sunset time. Here's one last look at the 7-day forecast. Carolyn, Bella.
Thanks, Coy. Thank you for watching OU Nightly.
Have a good night.